The small town of Chambéry is perched near the head of a valley amid the Dent du Midi, right in the southwestern part of Switzerland. The part of the country is well known for skiing, and during the season you can ski over the border between Switzerland and France, with various ski lifts, chairlifts and cable cars set up to get you back where you started. Chambéry was already well established as a place for visitors 100 years ago, with a hotel, telephone service and the railway line which links the town to Monthey, Oran and Aix. People have travelled from all over Europe and beyond to take part in the European Curling Championships this year, and most are staying in Chambéry or nearby. While the top flight of European curling, the A Division, are in action at the main venue, the Palladium in Chambéry itself, Wales, amongst several other nations who make up the B Division, play at the Verney Ice Rink in Monthey, around 13 kilometres away from Chambéry itself. Welcome to Switzerland and to the town of Monthey, where the B Division of the 2014 European Curling Championships is taking place. Join us here for highlights of the first day of play, and actually what we'll be concentrating on today is of course the one featuring Wales against their opponents Finland. Before the game can start, both teams get a practice session, and at the end they have to play what's called last stone draw, an attempt to get their stone as close to the centre of the house as possible. The distance from that button in the middle will then be measured, and the team that's closest will have the last stone advantage. And it looks like a pretty good stone there from Adrian Meikle. So a quick look at the team representing Wales this year, largely unchanged from 12 months ago. The main difference is Simon Power stepping into the team. Adrian Meikle still very much involved, listed on the team sheet as alternate. We'll see how often he actually plays, and you can also see their coach, Dawn Watson. And while they have a practice, let's have a look at their opponents. The Finland team is just in front of us here. And this team representing Finland is a complete change of lineup compared with 12 months ago, possibly partly because the team that played in the 2013 European Championships ended up being relegated from the A Division. So this is their first time in the B Division for a little while, which may mean that they're quite tough opponents and will be looking to try and get straight back up again. Time will tell as they go on to the match, of course. Well, the practice is over, the last stone draws have been taken, and despite Adrian Meikle putting down the gauntlet pretty well, Finland managed to get a slightly better last stone draw. It was a bit deceptive from this angle, it looked like Wales had got it, but in fact it's Finland who have the hammer in this first game. So Wales go first, and this is the first stone from lead Gary Coombs. So playing in the game today we have Gary Coombs at lead. Adrian Meikle is in the house at the moment, the experienced skip with many years of curling for Wales behind him. And currently sweeping we have James Power and Rhys Phillips, with Simon Power, James's brother, sitting out this particular match. So while we've been watching the Welshmen make their way back towards the starting position in the far hack, the Finland skip has called his lead to bring a stone into the front of the house, which they've done. There is still a bit of it showing. So Adrian Meikle calling for that stone currently sitting in the house to be removed.
and that's not the sort of stone that you expect Gary to muck up. So it looks like the pattern of the first part of this first end is going to be a trading hit. The Finnish skip also calling for the stone in the house to be removed. The shooter also rolls out, so we're back to square one, an empty house with just a centre line guard. So now it's the turn of Rhys Phillips to send his stone down the ice, and Adrian Meikle just calling for a draw behind the guard, trying to get it slightly more covered than the previous stones had been. Now, it's not a bad result, it's not completely tucked in. So Finland again having a go and attempting to remove it. And that's a good result for Finland. They get the hit and also a slight roll. Now this stone is still visible, but it's a lot more difficult to get to. And this looks very tight to the guard. They might have to turn this into a raise if something goes wrong. But that's well held by the sweepers. That's good sweeping there, keeping it right on the line. Well, it's come up a little short of where they wanted. That's the first real mistake from Wales so far. Can Finland take advantage and draw one in? Well, the line was good, but it has run on a little further than Finland would have liked. So James Power here just being asked to bring another stone into the house. Well, the sweepers called 9 there. They think this is going to end up in the back part of the house. That's not necessarily a problem because there's a yellow stone there it can sit on. Well, Finland attempting to remove the red and just about doing so. But that wasn't quite what they were looking for. So now we're on to skip stones, and Adrian Meikle will have a go, bringing a draw just in towards the centre of the house. to sweep that really hard to both get it past the guard and to make sure of the weight, and that is a good result. Finnish skip has already been down to the hack to take his shot, but he came back up. Thought he might have spotted something else. The original idea was just to follow Adrian Meikle-Stone in with another draw. I think that is what he's going for. You have to remember that in all these matches at international level there is a time clock running. Teams only get a set amount of time in which to play their stones. A change to that system for this year. The teams have a set amount of thinking time. The clocks are actually stopped while the stones are in motion. And as draws go, that's not a bad one. So Adrian Meikle's final stone in this first end is now underway. The opposition, of course, have the very last stone, the hammer. Adrian calling the sweepers right off, concerned that the stone needs to turn quite a way. And indeed they were looking for a bit more swing than that to put it in front of that yellow stone. So the very last stone in this first end for Finland, who already lie one in the house. They'd love to try and make that two or possibly more. Looks like it's just the one. So not a bad result for Wales in the end in that first end. Forcing the team with the hammer to take just a single shot. And it's Wales who'll now have the last stone advantage going into the second end. You see there the clock on the red background there counting down. That's the total amount of thinking time that Wales have left in this match. 24 minutes as we come up towards the end of the fifth end. That's round about what they'd be looking for. They do of course have a 1 minute timeout that they can call at any point. Pretty good result. It looks to just be lying shot. Adrian and the Welsh boys will be pleased with that. They'd have liked it a little bit closer to the button, a little bit more tucked in. But in the context of everything that's going on, they'll settle for that. Well, the Finns have decided to have another go at the takeout on the front red of that cluster there, hoping that their yellow would stay more or less where it was, and that looks to have worked quite nicely for them. Adrian Meikle now put in a slightly difficult position as he comes to play his last stone in this fifth end. Well, the sweepers think the weight on this is heavy, if anything, so they're sweeping just for line. Well, Adrian's not got shot out of that, but he has made it quite difficult for the Finns to sit two with their final stone. So the last stone in this fifth end is underway. Of course, after this stone, there'll be the mid-session break. Finland attempting to move some granite around with this stone. And they've got themselves quite a significant score by doing so. And what a significant score. Some of them looked a little bit close, but no need for the measure. It's a score of 4 in the fifth end to Finland, which puts them ahead by 5 shots to 1 at the mid-session break. Skip stones in this sixth end. Wales currently lie 1 in the house. They're looking to try and get a second one in there. And here's the response from Finland. Couldn't get rid of both stones because they were more or less parallel with each other in the house. Well, we join this end as we get to skip stones. Wales still trail by 2 at this point. And here comes the Finland skip with his first skip stone. Of course, Finland have the last stone advantage, having lost the previous end. They still lead by 2 shots, of course. And that shot leaves the house empty. So no doubt Adrian Meeker will be looking to try and put his final stone of this end somewhere in the house. Well, the sweepers, Gary and Rees, were concerned this might be a bit heavy, and so it proves. So it's an empty house for Finland to draw to. If they want to give up the hammer, they might just elect to throw through and retain that last stone advantage into the next end. So it is the throw-through shot. Unless something very strange happens here, it will be yet another blanked end. 3 of them in this match so far. And Finland maintain their lead at 2 shots after the 7th end. So we come to skip stones in the 8th end. The 2 teams have pretty much been trading hits in the house, attempting with varying degrees of success to roll behind one of those 2 guards on the right hand side. Unless something changes, this end looks like it might be heading for another blank. So the Finns going for another takeout here. So So with nothing currently in the house, Adrian Meikle looking to put his final stone of this end somewhere in that house. Of course, the slight problem is that Finland get another stone after this, so it needs to be as covered as possible. I do not want Finland to be able to remove that stone from play. Well, it's not a bad result. They could have done with it curling a little bit further. It looks like there is pretty much direct access still to that stone. And once again, the Finns will have the choice whether they want to take the one or to blank the end and carry through the last stone advantage. They currently lead by 2 shots, which is not a safe margin by any means. So the Finns content to take the blank. It is another blanked end and they maintain their lead and the hammer. They lead by 5 shots to 3 now after 8 ends. Well, we rejoin this match once again as skip stones are being thrown. Wales currently lie 2 in the house. And a mistake from Finland mean Wales might just have the chance to level up here. Well, Wales lie 3 in the house after that shot from Adrian Meikle. Finland unable to do anything about more than one of them, and that should be a score of 2 to Wales to level things up at 5 all after 9 ends. It's the 10th and what should be the final end in this match between Wales and Finland. Wales have had to come back from behind. Until the previous end they trailed by 2, but it's now level at 5 all. This is the first of Adrian Meikle's skip stones. So far Wales have had a tactic of putting up 2 guards in that guard zone there, but Finland have been very good at removing them, and so with his first skip stone Adrian has elected to draw into the house behind that guard. The Finland skip just going for a draw shot here. They now lie 1. Wales' second shot, with Wales still to play their final skip stone, and after that Finland have 1 more chance. So the final Welsh stone in this 10th end is underway. Just going for a takeout on this yellow stone. And Wales lie 2, so now it's all down to what Finland can do.
And the Finns had a go, but only moved 1 of those stones, leaving 1 shot to Wales, who won the match by 6 shots to 5. So we've got a few minutes left to see what else happened today. Here's the end of England's ladies match up against Austria.
Well, apologies about the restricted view, but you joined this game in the final couple of stones in the 10th end. England trail by 1 shot, and it's Austria who have the hammer. A little bit of confusion, but Austria decide they're not going to play their final stone, so it is Austria who take the win. They don't play the final stone. And England, well, they never really recovered after losing that 4 in the first end, even though they played obviously fairly well to keep up, and they came pretty close with that final end, but it is a win for Austria. Well, we're just over halfway through an extra end in this match between Poland and Slovakia. It's been pretty tight all the way through. At the moment, it's Slovakia who have a bit of the underhand in this extra end. Poland playing with the red stones, lying one in the house and with 2 guards out the front. And that's pretty close to what they were looking for, making that yellow as benign as possible. It's just surrounding it in red stones now. So now Slovakia what should be the final stone from them in this match. It's the second skip stone in this extra end. And it's a pretty good attempt, but it just comes up short. And that means there's no way Poland can lose the match. So it's victory for Poland over Slovakia by 7 shots to 6. The tightest of margins there to come through an extra end to do it. So you just come through a very tight match, unfortunately the wrong end of it. You lost a 4 in the first end. That can't have been a fantastic start. What happened?
We've just adapted to the ice conditions. It's so much quicker here compared to where we train at home. So we're just adapting, and unfortunately we missed our shots and we paid for it really.
So after losing a 4 in the first end, how difficult was it to hold it together and actually keep the match quite tight right to the finish?
To be honest, we played really, really well after that first end. We had a crap first end, so but and then after that we pretty much nailed every shot. We had the upper hand. Just a 4 is a really hard place to come back from, unfortunately. We just missed out.
So apart from that first end, do you feel like you played pretty well?
Yeah, I think it should have been our game.
Yeah, I think even a 3 would have been okay, but
It's showing, showing in the stats as well. They sort of in the first end was pretty rough, but then after that, stats just getting better and better and better. I think,
The next game is ours anyway.
onward and upward.
So you have good intentions for the next match. What is next for you?
Playing against Slovakia tonight, so yeah, we really want to just go out there and start well, not lose a 4.
And they know what it's like to come through a tight game as well.
Yeah, they just had an extra end, didn't they? Yeah, so
they were on the wrong side of it, I think.
We'll get this over in 6 ends.